What is up, everybody? We're back with another spooky film, and we're almost done with spooky season, but I got a couple more reviews for you. And this time we're going to be talking about the latest Shudder original film, Suitable Flesh. Psychiatrist Elizabeth Derby becomes obsessed with helping a young patient suffering from extreme personality disorder, but it leads her into dark occult danger as she tries to escape a horrific fate. Suitable Flesh was directed by Joe Lynch, who also directed Mayhem and Wrong Turn 2. This film is also based off the short story by legendary asshole H.P. Lovecraft titled The Thing on the Doorstep. So Suitable Flesh is one of those body-snatching horror films that I'm really privy to. I like that kind of stuff. It's simple, it's been done before, but like I've been saying a lot on this channel, especially during this Halloween special, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I guess you can kind of fix it, you know, just add a little sprinkle of uniqueness on it and then I'm good. And one of the things I really like about this film, it marketed itself as a campy film, as a silly film, something that you shouldn't take too seriously. So I like that up front, it's just like, dude, don't come into this movie thinking it's gonna be a very, you know, A24-esque horror film when you're gonna be contemplating life existence in this film. No, we're not gonna be doing that. We're doing silly, campy fun. Where Suitable Flesh really shines is in its performances. We have Heather Graham, the legendary Heather Graham, and we also have Barbara Crampton, who is a legend in her own right. And everybody else is doing a really good job in this film. They're really committing to the campiness of this film. They're going there. There's some scenes in here where I'm like, this looks really weird and can't be pulled off by anybody else, but they fully commit to it. But even with great performances and the promise of this being a campy film, but for me, this movie doesn't really reach as far into the campiness as I want. It doesn't really reach its full potential. The movie feels like you are coming into like the third or fourth episode of a TV series, and there's so much backstory that you don't know about that you're kind of confused. There's a lot of backstory that this movie has involving, you know, this book that has some kind of power that is obvious in the film, but we don't really know where this book came from, how people that have the book got in possession of the book, you know, why they are doing the things that they are doing with the book. It's kind of left to your own interpretation, and that could be intentional, but I think for me at least, it kind of was just making me wonder, and not in a good way, you know, am I missing something here? What's going on? Just felt a little bit out of place. This movie is also kind of like an erotic horror. Species is probably one of the first like erotic horror films that I watched. Watched that movie too young. Probably shouldn't have watched it then. I don't know who allowed me to do that, but I feel like if you're going to be an erotic horror film, then you kind of want to go lean heavily into that, you know. Don't be shy of what you want to be. But I think with this film, it kind of adds those erotic horrorness elements and then the campy elements. They're trying to combine both of those, but I don't feel like it's executed and works out really well. I wish that it just went and chose which side did it want to be. Does it want to be an erotic horror? Does it want to be a comedy, you know, a campy horror film? I just wanted it to commit to one of those or both of those and just go fully into it. Because I really like that genre. You know, Evil Dead for me was like my introduction into campy horror stuff, and I really like that franchise. And that franchise has also been able to transition to a more serious, you know, horror franchise. But I think of films like most recently Appendage that came out, that didn't market itself as a you know, campy horror film, but they do the camp very well. And also another one, Malignant, that's another great campy horror film. Again, another film that didn't market itself as campy, but did a really good job of being campy. And so that's why I'm kind of confused that this film marketed itself as campy, but doesn't have that much campiness in it. Maybe that's what you got to do. Just don't market yourself as a campy horror film when you actually are a campy horror film and it actually will be campy. I don't know. The biggest downfall for this film is just me personally. This is just my opinion because that's what this video is it's just kind of boring. You know, I didn't really get invested in a lot of the characters. Some of the characters, if not all of them, are kind of despicable. You don't really want to root for anybody. You just want to be along for the ride. But the ride itself isn't really that entertaining, that fun. Like I said, there's some stuff that you are kind of missing. It just felt like, for me, that I was playing catch up with this film. You know, there's a lot of stuff that are out of place, and stuff that I would say not necessarily plot holes, just, you know, information that wasn't given to us as the audience. And I don't need to be like sat down and told like what is going on. You know, I don't need a introduction of the film saying like 1,000 years ago this happened. But in this case, it kind of would have been nice. Overall, guys, I think that Suitable Flesh is okay. You know, there's some pretty cool performances in here. If you're a fan of any of the actors and actresses in this film, I think you're going to get a kick out of it. But for me, it's slow. You know, there's not a lot of information given, and it's not really that entertaining. I wanted it to go full camp, but it really didn't. But of course, guys, the most important thing that I want to know is your opinion. Do you like Suitable Flesh? Have you ever heard of Suitable Flesh? What do you feel about H.P. Lovecraft's movies? You know, I feel like we don't get a lot of them, but at the same time, there's like a whole bunch of H.P. Lovecraft inspired films out there. I also find it kind of funny that, you know, when they make an H.P. Lovecraft film, they're like, we're going to do something that H.P. Lovecraft, if he was still alive, he would totally hate this. So that's kind of funny. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are almost hitting that 2,000 subscriber mark. And thank you so much for all your support. I made a video called, you know, 5 franchises that I will never watch. And I initially made that video just for lulz. You know, I was just like, hey, this is gonna piss people off. This is not really serious. Will I actually ever watch these franchises? Probably, but I just wanted to see how people would react. And the reaction has been what I thought it was going to be, really negative. But hey, a lot of people seem to like it as well. You know, where there's negatives, there's also positives. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out over here and add to the cesspool. But thank you for watching as always, guys, and remember, keep watching movies.